Hi guys, my name is Mary from Designer Chair Covers to Go, and today's video will be discussing some of the advantages and disadvantages of hosting a small, intimate or micro wedding. So if you're thinking about just having your wedding now, not waiting for the larger numbers, then this video is for you. We'll look at some of the advantages and disadvantages of hosting an intimate wedding. This 2020 has been a bit of obviously a strange year for weddings, whereby a lot or 90% of our clients have had to postpone till 2021. So with that said, some of our clients, 10%, have chosen just to go ahead and have an intimate wedding. So I do keep looking down at my notes here, but with the rule changes and the guest numbers being 15 or 30 or none, this video sort of came up, and after experiencing some of the smaller weddings that we had the pleasure of decorating, it then shone a light into the advantages as to why you may want to do it. So I figured I'll sort of let you know what I've experienced from hosting these intimate weddings and why actually I quite like them. So the first advantage of hosting an intimate wedding is that you've got a huge selection of venues to choose from. You can get creative. By having an intimate wedding, you can try and go to a restaurant. And during this time, we have decorated a few restaurants for weddings. And the advantage of doing that was that obviously the catering was taken care of in-house. You kind of know what the food is going to be like because you've been to the restaurant before, hopefully. And typically, they didn't need to shut down during the tier one sort of times whereby they allowed restaurants to be open. So some of our clients paid to get the restaurant shut down to the public and just serve their guests. And then we came in and decorated the space so it looked more like a wedding rather than just a restaurant. So you've got restaurants, you have hotel ballrooms. Okay, so the ballrooms, hotels tend to have their ballroom, and then they might have like sub rooms that might be meeting rooms or just smaller rooms that they can use. And you can inquire with them about what options they have there. And obviously, again, we can come in and dress the space and make it more like a wedding. So you've got more hotel options. In London, obviously everything's quite tight, and there are quite a lot of wet venues that cater for larger events, but there's even more that cater for smaller numbers. And so this is where you can literally inquire everywhere and find tons of venues that can host 15, 30 people. If you do like the hotels, we've done loads of hotels in our time, and I'm going to make a video of our top 5 maybe favorite intimate wedding venues in London that you could choose from, and you'll see them there. Obviously, if you've got more choice of venues, that means more different types of venues that you can use, and this is about being creative. Even during this time, we decorated a photography studio for a wedding. They obviously had a large bit of space there, and it's a blank canvas, and then we can come in and really transform the space and make it into a wedding. And that's what we did with this particular wedding and a few others that we also decorated. And literally we brought in the tables and the furniture, she added the catering, and it transformed it into a wedding venue. And it was her design in that particular blank canvas. So again, thinking creatively and outside the box can be fantastic for you. A second advantage of having an intimate wedding is that your guest list is literally the core and all of your favorite people in one place. It's not going to be a case where we've had it in the past where our couples give their parents a list or a quantity of people that they can invite, and sometimes it's Auntie XYZ that they've never met before or remember from years gone by, or it is just random people that they don't know. It's literally your nearest, your very best friends and family members that will attend the wedding because it's small. So you have to put the core people in there, and it's going to be a case of when you do go around and say thank you for coming to the wedding and see all those people in there supporting you, it's going to be your nearest and dearest, not randomers, which we've done loads of weddings when they're 500, 600 people. I know I've spoken to my brides afterwards and they're like, I didn't see everyone, I didn't know half the people there. Or sometimes when we come back to pack down at night, it is rammed, the party part rammed full. And if I can find a picture, I'll add the picture in here of some of the times that we've come back and it's literally just a sea of people, basically a concert or a rave. And obviously some of our clients love that, but for those that don't, this intimate wedding time is perfect. Okay, so my third advantage is that you get more time. And again, experiencing this from being a part of the micro weddings that we've done this year, I've just seen a huge difference with my clients on the day, the bride and groom on the day. There is more time. You're not trying to battle to get through everything and, 500 bridesmaids and groomsmen to sort out, and then off to the church, and then off to the reception, and then the drinks reception, and people are desperate to get into the ballroom to sit down and take their seat, so the couple don't have time to take pictures. Less people is perfect. You therefore have more time to do more things. You then have more time with your photographer to take some really creative shots. I mean, some of these pictures here you can see it was because the couple had time to go away with the photographer and take pictures. This is your, one special day. I personally feel that the photographs and the video is really important to a wedding. And it's, you never really get a chance to get glammed up and to wear something not ridiculous, but really over the top for a day and get it captured. So why not spend more time doing that? And it's between you and your partner. It's perfect. So with less guests, you get more time to do the photographs, the videography, and even coming into the room for the reveal. Again, I'll insert a clip here. You can see the reveal when the bride comes in is, for me as a decorator, one of my favorite things to see, because all the work and time that we've put into coming up with the design is sort of showcased now. And even as for the bride, she's thought about and planned everything, and it's all in place now. It's the best time for the couple to see everything all put together. I like to call it like an orchestra. Like, everyone plays their parts, the caterer plays their part, the decorator plays their part, all the little stationers items, the menu cards, it all comes in and creates the wedding. And finally the bride and groom get to see it, and it's lovely. And sometimes that time is rushed. You can see these pictures and these moments that you took time to take time out to do. You'll appreciate it, because you can't do it again. You can't go back and recreate the picture of your wedding, or you can, but it's going to cost, and it won't be exactly the same. So having that time, because of the intimate wedding and your guest numbers are down, is perfect. And it really highlighted to me with the intimate weddings that we did, that the brides just had time to take loads of pictures and spend lots of time with their family and friends, and it wasn't rushed at all. It was really an advantage. And my last point of having more time also leads into my next point, which is less stress. When you don't have 500 people waiting on you, or having to maneuver 500 people around to your wedding, it is so much less stress. And this is from the beginning of the planning right to the end, because you don't have to manage a 500 person guest list. You don't have to manage 500 invitations and responses. And where is this person going to stay or sit, the table plan? Like, there's so many knock-on effects of having less people. You don't have to get 500 favors or 500 invitation cards. Like, there's so much. And ultimately, if you're just making 15, that is a walk in the park. You can really go in on the detail. You can increase the quality of each favor that you give because it's only 15 or 30. It's not 500 anymore. So you can go in on the detail, you can get really creative, and you can make it really, really nice. It's just less stress all around. And again, I've seen it with my brides. Obviously, we have done weddings where they've had 500, 800 guests, and it's not been stressful for them. They've had the correct coordinator, planner, and they've really thought about everything. And it kind of helps when everything's all in one place also. But with 30 weddings, it is a walk in the park. Okay, so now is the big one. Obviously, the budget. The budget is what everyone looks at when it's less guests, and it really is. It's less on certain things, because ultimately certain venues charge you a flat rate regardless of how many people you will have in it. But if you're having a smaller room, it tends to be less money anyway, so you will make a saving on that. Catering varies. If you are having 500 people overall, if you're being charged £40 a head times 500, the price is the price. But if you're having less people, it tends to that the price does go up per head, but overall you're having less people, so the overall amount is down. So that helps. Decoration wise, this varies greatly, but typically it is overall less. But we are finding that our clients, because they are having less people, they really want to go in and make the decor even more fantastic for the people that are attending. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be less, but it typically tends to be lower. But as with everything, you can always upgrade things and maybe go, instead of artificial flowers, you might go for fresh flowers, and that automatically makes everything more expensive. Or we've had it this year whereby clients went for more budget friendly chairs or furniture, and then they upgraded their chairs to make everything look more lavish. Even draping the room or having ceiling drapery. You add all those things in, it does increase the price, but you are getting more of a lavish design of wedding. Ultimately, you have less tables, so we can really go to town in creating something that's unique, dramatic, over the top. For instance, there was the wedding that we did at this photography studio this year, and she was meant to have 200 guests initially, but she said, nope, I'm going to cut my numbers down and do it during this time, and we're going to have 27 people. But then we changed the layout of the room. We added the ceiling drapery. We upgraded her chairs. We brought in all the little touches like the napkin rings. I'm just looking around because they're here on the table next to me. Napkin rings and charger plates and the stationery. Everything was upgraded. So her overall decor budget, when it was for 200 guests, it only marginally reduced when it was 30 because everything was upgraded. But overall, it looked fantastic. And again, when she came in for her reveal, she loved it. She took pictures amongst all the decor and it looked fantastic. We was able to play around with the layout of the room as well because she had more space. We was able to go in with long tables instead of having round tables, and really align the tables and adorn them with flowers. And you can do that with intimate weddings. And one advantage for me as a decorator, designer, that I love it. And also for our clients that are now sort of saying, I want to go in with my decor and make it look fantastic. And I'm like, yes, we can do this for you. So yeah. Okay, so those are the main key advantages that I've come up with from what I've seen with intimate weddings. And for me, I do feel that these are fantastic advantages. If you are really considering it, go for it, because we can help you out with all of these things that come up, and it really is a fantastic option if you're okay with some of these disadvantages of intimate weddings, which I'll go into now. Some of the disadvantages that I've seen is that the party side of the wedding, obviously if you've got 15 people attending your wedding and you have a DJ and music and things, 15 people can break a sweat and make it a fun party, but typically the more people the better. I mean, if you think of a club, and when there's not enough people, there's the big old space in the middle of the room, people feel a bit shy to dance. But obviously if you get a smaller venue and a smaller dance floor, add some good production and lighting, people will be ready to dance. So to be fair, that's not really a disadvantage. Just make sure the people that you invite to the wedding, they're game, they're fun, and they want to be on the floor all night. But if you're not really a dancer and you're not that fussed about it, then I guess it's not a disadvantage. But for some of our clients who I know who love to dance and party and have that big rave afterwards, obviously intimate weddings won't do for them. But having said that, you could do your intimate wedding like this and then have a huge party once everything is back to normal, and really go all to town with the party side, a good DJ, good music, and just have sweat fest of people dancing. That's what you could do as well. So I kind of counteracted that disadvantage really, but depends the type of person, the couple you are. Gifts. This is a bit of a shallow one maybe, but if you've got less people attending the wedding, then you're going to get less gifts, unless you invite people that are good at giving gifts. But typically from African weddings that we do, there's a lot of financial gifts that people give. And the more people that you invite, the more gifts that you're going to get. It's a controversial one, I'm not going to lie. The clear disadvantage is obviously if you're only having 30 people at the wedding, there are going to be a lot of people that you're going to cut out from friends and family that have been with you throughout, that don't get to make that core list. I mean, if you've got like 5 brothers and sisters each, that's going to be it. You're not going to get any friends in. It's going to be tricky to cut down. So I do empathize with you if you do have to do that. But again, you can do that now and then have a bigger party later, which is more just for fun and having people around. But again, obviously you're not having those people there for the main part of the wedding. which is quite a big thing. And obviously another disadvantage is not what you imagined. Having, there's a picture here, this isn't one of our weddings, but seeing this picture and having the people all spaced out, it's not what you imagined for your wedding, regardless. It just doesn't look fun. It doesn't. And it's not what you imagined when you were young, or, you know, if you did imagine having a wedding. I don't know if anyone's ever thought, I just want it to be 5 people. Obviously some people do, but for the majority it's not what you imagined, and that is a disadvantage. And that's it. That's all of the reasons and disadvantages of having a small wedding. Like, there's a lot more advantages to doing it, and I think there might be a middle ground of having about 100 people, you know, not your macro weddings with loads of people, but just going middle ground and 100 people, which hopefully will be happening next year, 2021. But yes, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's the first, one of the first in the series I'm doing with this intimate wedding thing, because it looks like it's going to be big for this year. Be sure to like, subscribe and comment. If you have any questions or any thoughts, drop us an email or a message in the box and one of us will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm Mary from Designer Chair Covers To Go. And you can view our Instagram or other videos here. Instagram and stuff is here, and just click the like button and subscribe. Thank you once again, and until the next video, I'll see you then.